here to warn people. You keep telling me to shut up. This isn't a game.
From the front lines of the information war, it's Alex Jones.
White House Press Secretary Carney calls freedom a buzzword. This is out of the Examiner. Reacting to reports that says Obamacare will lower work hours because it lowers the hourly threshold and Americans must work harder to obtain health care. White House Press Secretary Jay Carney called freedom a buzzword. Freedom's just another buzzword for nothing left to lose. And you ain't got nothing if you ain't got buzzwords. Isn't that how the song went? It's not anything but an added choice that they have that allows them more freedom to use a certain buzzword. More choice, he said. Talk about double speak. By the way, you brought that in yesterday, and I meant to show it, Chris Jordan. They have new Obama ads for the Affordable Care Act. Notice how it is the opposite of affordable. The Patriot Act's the opposite of patriotic. It's all a sick joke, folks. And it's like ads about, yeah, helps you get more. Talking about sex. And then there's another one like, Mama loves her jeans and she loves her Obamacare. And then I went to the website and they're really putting out this cheesy, weird, trendy stuff. Like, hey, we like handlebar mustaches too and socks that don't match. You know, that's the ultra trendy thing right now, of course. Everybody's got big beards too. I'm not against facial hair, folks. I just don't get all these guys that have beards. I guess the movie 300 made it popular. And they always bug their eyes out at you like their beard's going to kick your butt or something. I could grow one hell of a beard, look like Gandalf if I wanted to, but I just itches and stuff. Yeah, there it is. That's from healthcare.gov. Mom loves her comfy jeans. She also loves it when you have health insurance. And that was like that ad they produced where the parents want to talk to their kid and they call her over. They go, you really need to do this. And then she's like, oh, I agree. And they're like, oh, my gosh. It's like so cheesy and so opportunistic and so fraudulent. I mean, look at how horrible Obamacare has been. Do you see Boehner trying to repeal it? No. You've got the Republican leadership trying to suppress the Libertarian Tea Party on immigration, on Obamacare, on everything, on the power grab by the executive. I dread if they get a Chris Christie in or a Rubio, and they are just going to run over us with police state. And suddenly all the conservatives who hate Democrats so much, they'll go, well, that's all right if Rubio wants my guns, because at least it isn't Hillary Clinton, Alex. Get with the program, man. So stinking frustrating. Now, the one on screen now is a parody, Obamacare, the empire knows best. And it's got the Obama rising sun symbol of Thulsa Doom. Maybe Obama really is Thulsa Doom, and David Icke's right, and he turns into a snake. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Thulsa Doom on his mountain of power. She have a dagger from my heart. Max von Sydow, start quoting Max von Sydow. We ought to play the intro from Conan the Barbarian. After the sea swallowed Atlantis and before the rise of the sons of Ares, there was a time of great adventure. Well, let me tell you something, folks. You are living in a time of great adventure. Let's go ahead and take your phone calls. Peter, in California, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Alex, how you doing?
Pretty good, brother.
Man, I'll tell you what, you weren't joking about 6th Street down there. I was just down in your parts about a week and a half ago. Actually met up with Leanne McAdoo and John Bound at the protest there at City Hall against the fluoride. Did you guys ever find out what happened with that, by the way?
We are fighting to try to get it out. There's lawsuits being filed, a lot more. It's just an ongoing process, but fluoride's getting pulled out in major cities from Canada to Europe to the United States, so we're on the march overall. But, yeah, I would advise everyone, like they have a travel advisory finally, to not go to Mexico anywhere. It's so dangerous. I would say anywhere on 8th, 7th, and 6th Street, where it meets 35. If you're looking to be mobbed, stabbed, rolled, in the old days, people would go roll gays because I guess they thought it was acceptable. They weren't human to beat them up and rob them. and people did something about it, and they should. Now they roll white people. And I mean, I'm just going to tell you, black folks, because I know work people that live down there, work down there, it goes on almost every night, roll whites. And I don't blame them, because if you see a trendy, long-haired liberal, they walk over and test them and call them names, and then they beg and go, come on, bro, I'm down, I hate white people too. Then they know they're defenseless and they attack. I mean, it would basically be like lions would go after gazelles with no legs or horns. You know, kind of like a cheeseburger out the window. And then they beat them up on the ground, they beg and roll around while they kick them. They don't even fight back. It is the most pathetic display ever. And they've got news reports. This is happening a lot. So if you want to get stabbed or you want to get mugged, go down by the police station. Because the cops are all in there, you know, doing whatever they do. And just right in front of the police station, if you want to be attacked. See, they can't see it, though, because blacks cannot do anything bad to whites. Racism's only from white people. It's kind of like the black folks drug a white guy to death till his head came off as well on the same stretch of road a year after the white guys drugged the black guy to death. And the white guys all got the death penalty. But the issue is no one ever knew. There was one article in the local paper, that was it. And I agree. Dragging a white person to death is not a big deal. And, you know, if you don't go out there and help tie them up to the vehicle, then you're racist. So I think all white people should be drugged behind vehicles till they're dead. And so, again, I want to advise everyone, if you want to go down and be racially attacked and prove that you're sad that you're white, go down to where 6th, 7th, 8th, and 5th, right there. Go down there at about midnight, right where it meets I-35, and just go stand under a street light, and you will be stabbed, beaten, and robbed. And I think it's wonderful. So go on down there. I'm sorry, Peter, you said, what did you see on 6th Street? Was it a lot of fun?
I mean, it was mayhem. I mean, it was Bourbon Street meets, you know, Carnival or something down in Brazil. It was just every other night. I was there for about a week and a half, and like you said, I mean, every other night there was just huge fights. I mean, thankfully I was on my survival shield, so I think the people were just partying like the Red Sea when I was walking down. I was just feeling so on fire. But
well, you know, also, I don't think you didn't need any super male vitality.
Well, all I have is the survival shield right now, and I mean, I'd love to do the super male vitality, but I'm not sure I would. I'd stay on the ground if I had that stuff in me.
Well, thank you for coming down and joining Leanne and the crew down there to protest the fluoride. God bless you, brother. Ed in Canada, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, brother. Excellent.
Been a long time fan ever since the days I've seen you on Waking Life, and been following you ever since. And I really love how you provide relevant news in a historical context.
Well, God bless you, brother. What is on your mind today? Do you think freedom's a buzzword?
I do. The police state is on my mind. You know, I'm concerned about it like everyone else. I've had run-ins like many people, and once you do, and once your rights are violated, your eyes are really open to how frequent and easy it can occur.
Well, that's right, and they're violating the 4th Amendment, 5th, 10th. A lot of police departments don't, but a lot do. And the point is the system wants them to be like that. It's a trend. It's getting worse. And why do we have a Bill of Rights then if you guys think it can be trampled on? Go ahead.
Exactly. Well, I like to think on things and come up with any solutions I can, and I'd like to propose what could be a potential solution.
All right, brother, tell me.
Cool. I'm a bit of a web developer, but it would basically be a website that would basically be the premise would be almost like baseball cards of violating police officers that just give down their stats, give their names, and then incorporate some type of form where people could petition or people of that town could get awareness and then potentially bring that officer to charges or at least removed from duty. No,
I get it. We can make like a digital baseball card and throw the stats up there. And that's the kind of thing that would catch on with the public to try to, but I mean, it's so arrogant now, like out where they killed that, you know, homeless guy, the son of the cop. after they were found not guilty, the police basically celebrated it and arrested people protesting peacefully. So, I don't know. I mean, the cops would probably try to do worse things, some of them, to get more baseball stats. I mean, have you ever thought about that?
Sadly, yeah, but I think the real benefit would come in, and like, it is disgusting that anyone can be murdered or violated by a police officer without recourse to the criminal officer. But I think the real benefit would come in as creating a record of all the incidences that usually just get lost in the so much news nowadays, and then people could on their free will stumble across these things or just check it out. And
sir, you just said a unauthorized FCC banned word. You just said, get ready to delay, get ready to delay. I'm going to say it, though, for the internet streams. Free will. Man, that is dirty, dirty, dirty.
Yeah.
It's almost as dirty as saying John Boehner. You know, do you know now, like, if you find rotten mayonnaise in the back of your refrigerator, it's now called John Boehner. I don't know why, it's just something gross. And Obama, what should we call Obama? We should give him some disgusting nickname. Because it's good to denigrate and desecrate these idols of the state. What do we want to call, let's call Obama henceforth Dog Vomit. How's that sound?
Yeah.
President Dog Vomit.
Yeah.
I'm serious. It's important to defile the enemy. What should we call him? The lying serpent, the snake king? What should we call him?
I don't know. Something to do with a puppet or Pinocchio, or who knows.
I guess Pinocchio is a good name for him. I appreciate your call. Very interesting, Ed. Richard in Canada, you're on the air worldwide, sir. How may I serve you?
How are you doing, Alex?
I'm an extremist. I admit it.
Well, you know, you're very entertaining, and sometimes when you get on a roll, it's pretty funny. But we want to thank you from up here for all the good work you're doing. And, oh, by the way, the perfect name for Obama is Obummer.
Yeah, Obummer's a good name. Vomit, liar, fraudster,
yeah.
Scam artist.
Obama kind of rolls off the tongue just nicely. But what I wanted to talk to you today about, Alex, if I could just for a moment, is free energy devices. I don't know if your listeners have watched the 2-hour video on the thrive.com site, but the guy
we sell the film Thrive on DVD. It's excellent.
Yeah. He states on there have been about 5,000 devices suppressed by, world powers.
Well, I've seen the documentary, and I've been down there. We did a news report on it years ago. We got to dig that up or go back down there. The University of Texas has created, with magnets in their research laboratories, we're one of the main centers, near free energy devices. The problem is, how do you put them in a car? How do you mobilize them? How do you roll them out? And there's no government funding behind it, basically. The UT stuff is privately funded. And absolutely, and there's another problem, though. There's so many con artists involved in it, knowing the public's interested in it. There's so many frauds where people collect money, claiming they're going to build it and deploy it, and then they don't. That gives it a bad name.
The only way it could work is if it was given away for free.
Yeah, the blueprints for it, the blueprints, but then who builds these systems, and then how do you deploy them into households?
Well, if everybody, there's a lot of little handymen who build stuff in their garages and basements. If you had people starting to build this stuff, it would eventually get around. It would be disseminated to everyone, and this would totally destroy the world financial structure, big oil, big banks. They would all go bankrupt.
Well, my issue is I just want to absorb them and evolve energy-wise out of these old toxic systems. And they know we want to get out of the system, so they come out with all these fake green initiatives that are just more boondoggles. Electric cars that get their power from coal. I mean, it's a total joke. And they get special parking spots or on high horses. What a joke. That social engineering's failing. They've got the Solyndra scams, the windmills that don't work and kill all the wildlife and are absolute eyesores. And then just, absolutely, it's crazy. And we should get more real people on about some of the new energy systems. But look at wind power. It doesn't work to have it 50 miles away and try to have giant power. But if it's on batteries at your house, you control it. use it as supplemental, it's incredible in places like Texas. But that's a windmill for you, or a windmill to pump water, or a windmill to supply, say, your air conditioning. That is the answer. But when you try to do that, they send regulators out to harass you. They want you to have windmills and hydroelectric, thermal on the grid. Thank you, Richard, from Canada. Let's talk to Joe in Texas. Go ahead, sir. What's on your mind today?
How are you doing, infidel, this afternoon?
I am kind of an infidel. I don't worship the government, so.
Well, I'm an infidel myself. I'm a stay-at-home dad these days, but I'm retired military, medically, of course, served in 2007. I just kind of wanted to talk to you about the different experiences I've had waking people up, as I've been awake myself since before 9/11. Been watching you for a little longer than that. Both good and bad. Probably the most important one. I sat down with this gentleman and a friend of mine. Both of us were awake. He was kind of coming to it. He'd been doing his research for a couple weeks. Sorry, that's my daughter.
It doesn't matter. Let him talk. Go ahead.
Yeah. So he basically told me straight up, I understand the situation. I'm going to join the winning team. To our face. And so we never spoke to that man again. I don't know where he is these days. But
I mean, are you saying he knew about the New World Order and he made the decision to join with Sauron?
When we had first started discussing it, he was skeptical. After a couple weeks of us discussing it and showing him different videos and him doing his own research, that was his answer.
Yeah, no, a lot of people, and I respect that. It's better than people that just say it doesn't exist and still sell out, lying to themselves, knowing that they're joining with evil, but claiming to themselves it's okay. I don't like people that join with evil, but I respect them. Good, you've chosen the team you think's going to win, which, by the way, is the losing team. But go ahead.
The second instance, I go to a PTSD group. I was, like I said, in the infantry. I kicked in the doors. I've ruined people's lives. I regret that to this day.
Well, as long as you ask God for forgiveness, and I mean, you should not have any guilt.
Yes, sir. A gentleman from Vietnam goes there as well. However, his background is not just military; it's FBI, counterterrorism.
Well, I want to hear this.
Anytime.
We're gonna come back. I want to hear this group you're in, PTSD group, what you talk about. Symbols are powerful, and the globalists have hijacked the symbols of America. They've turned them into their own symbols. Well, we are restoring the idea of the true republic, not the counterfeit globalist empire, by promoting the icon George Washington and others. That's why we're rolling out an 100% made in America line of incredible pro-liberty apparel. We are repopularizing liberty. We are helping fellow Americans rediscover what made this country great. We are the spirit of 1776. We are 1776 worldwide. We are all brothers and sisters in arms in the animating contest of liberty in the long march towards humanity's ultimate destiny of freedom. Visit madein1776.com today and vote with your dollars to promote truly made in America, high-quality products, and promote the ideals of liberty. Big, color, glossy magazine full of graphics, documents, news articles. You can get these as low as $1 a piece when you buy them in bulk to give to friends and family and wake people up. And the current issue is the police state issue, and it's got yours truly on the cover in a SWAT team outfit just to get people talking. And it's got the good, the bad, and the ugly of the police. Now we have to reach out to them in the info war to decompartmentalize them so they understand what's going on. And they're actually easier than anybody I've found to wake up other than military, because when you give them the info, then it all makes sense and they start to listen to you. Okay? Because they just want the police to do oppressive things that make us all hate them, so then it becomes a gang mentality, us against them. We have to go through that line and deprogram them, just like we've got to deprogram ourselves and the general public. And then, of course, we have the InfoWars Full Throttle Liberty centerfold with the race cars and fire and American Eagles and 50 caliber rifles. And let's just say this, any trendy communist, socialist, anti-human, fake feminist is going to really get very sick looking at this. And I don't even know why we put Leanne McAdoo on there right in the middle of the shot. I mean, I guess she just fits in with the guns and the cars and everything. But I'm being sarcastic, ladies and gentlemen. The point is, our great reporter, Leanne McAdoo, with a double 50 cals. We got to get her out shooting sometime. And with the rest of the crew, get Jakari out shooting and get David Knight out shooting the 50 cals with my buddy Steiner. But there's the cover. Infowars, store.com to get the magazine, to get the Wake Up America coffee that I think is the best coffee out there, bar none. And remember, your purchase makes the broadcast possible. Okay, so we got a former military vet. Said he was a door kicker in, I guess, the Iraq or was it Afghanistan gun confiscations. He can tell us, and he was saying he goes to a PTSD group with an FBI counterterrorism guy, probably there to spy on all you guys, or I don't know, he might be a nice guy. A lot of FBI guys are actually not bad people. But tell us what he told you. Go ahead.
Just a little backstory. I was in Sadr City, Iraq, and was a year after they had put a ceasefire up through the British and all the criminals and Iranians had infested. But this gentleman, I didn't speak for a year going to that group. I was in a pretty bad spot, so I got to know everybody before I opened my mouth. And boy, things all changed when I did, because when I started bringing things up, he became a gatekeeper really quick. For instance, you know, I'll give a couple examples. The whole Dorner issue, he had an excuse for everything, including shooting up the vehicle, which I believe those cops are now going to be possibly reprimanded for. Other issues.
Yeah, like a car that doesn't even look like the truck they're looking for with white women in it in broad daylight. They shot up, what, 3 cars full of people that weren't even... I know why black guys were wearing shirts saying, "I'm not Dorner." I'm sorry, go ahead.
The first thing you learn is trigger discipline in the military. So I'm dumbfounded with that and how he could defend it being from a military and civilian law enforcement.
Well, you heard me guess before you told me he was there to spy on you guys, probably.
I haven't made up my mind yet. It's been a couple of years. But like I said, he's a gatekeeper, and we have, you know, different gentlemen come there from different backgrounds every era, even World War II vets. And so if anybody brings anything up that's against the establishment, you know who's going to answer. It's this guy. And he's going to answer with the party line. And that's matter of fact, never changed this man's mind. But he comes off, you know, as a nice guy, truly believes it. So, I can't make up my mind with him. But on the same token, I've stood at parade rest in the military in a battalion formation and discussed how if we were going to have any more discussion about mutiny, then heads would roll. So, I mean, we come from very different backgrounds, apparently. But the third thing I wanted to bring up to him, like I said, was a third example would be Fukushima and the Navy sailors. We have Navy gentlemen in there as well.
Hello, this is Hank Hill, and I'm telling you what, you need to listen to Alex Jones.
Yeah. Infowars.com.
Judge, what is the secret of the universe?
Infowars.com.
Let me tell you, the most spied on group is veterans. And the minute he said there was an FBI agent in there, I said, we came back from break, and I said, let me guess, he's spying on you and messing with you. And I've actually had some FBI people give me stuff before that was good. I've had federal marshals give me stuff, so I know they're not all bad. But they're all compartmentalized, and they do what they're told. They're convinced they're good because they're compartmentalized. And they're all about how they manage everyone so they're the winners. It's a game to play along with the system and say you're in control of it. But go ahead, Joe. Finish up your points, brother.
If anything, I would liken him to the clergy response team. The real threat is the doctors. 30 minutes or less, better than dominoes. You're going to walk out with some mind-altering drug.
Yeah, and they do that so they can then take your rights away down the road. The New Freedom Initiative wants to put half of Americans on drugs by 2020.
Fighting that battle, I've been forced on every single one of them. Besides the point, about Fukushima, and the clergy response team was the only thing that he couldn't rebut. So,
yeah, you can play a newscast where the clergy response teams that we documented with Pastor Butch Pod 3 years before it was in the news. They literally go to the FEMA camp, turn in your guns, take the inoculations. And then now we have the preachers on TV going, go to the camp, take the shots of the Lord. And there's just these little soft, lazy guys that work 2 days a week, and they're going to hell. I mean, I'm not trying to judge them, but I'm telling you, they're Pharisees, and if Christ was here, he'd beat them with bullwhips. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sidetracking on that, the guy was dumbfounded last week because they gave him a letter in the mail, said he couldn't have guns anymore. He come to our group asking why. Basically, he said, you know, a neighbor had been bothering him, called the cops on him, and he said, boy, come on my property, and I'll take care of you. And so his preacher, who he confessed that to because he's a religious man,
of course,
basically called the cops on him, and now they've removed his right to him.
Yeah, psychologists now will not keep the info, doctors, and they'll twist anything. And a lot of them are government operatives. Listen, every dentist my dad knows, in the last 3 years, they tried to recruit him for Homeland Security. And when they tried to recruit my dad, he goes, is this because who my son is? They didn't even know that. They're like, no, Dr. Jones, you know, I've been coming to you for 10 years. There's money. He goes, well, who do I spy on? Criminal activity? He goes, no, want to know their politics. Keep tabs on everyone. Come to our meetings. We're going to meet over at the FBI office. They're going to give my dad a little badge and money, and he's going to...
Now you can watch The Alex Jones Show live as it happens at Infowars.com/show.
You'll find links to all of our content there and a free 15-day trial for Prison Planet TV.
More than 60 movies and documentaries all in one place at Infowars.com/show.